Why, hello there, and welcome to Vicky's Neighborhood. I'm Stephanie, and today I'll be reading you Vickilocks and the Three Bears. In this story, Vicky invites her friends over for lunch, and at the same time, she tells her classmates her own version of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So are you ready? Good, then let's begin now. When the weekend came again, Vicky had wanted to tell another fairy tale of her very own, so she skipped into the kitchen to ask her mother if she could invite her friends over. "Yes, Vicky," Carol replied. "In fact, can you help me make lunch first?" Vicky heard her tummy rumble. "Sure I can, Mummy," she answered as she rubbed her tummy in hunger. Vicky hadn't eaten since breakfast, so she went to the refrigerator to collect cheese to make grilled cheese sandwiches. "Oh, you and Vicky are making lunch, Mom?" asked Janine. "Can we help too?" Eddie chimed in. "Of course, Eddie," Carol smiled. "Janine, can you get the cans of tomato soup?" Janine nodded and went to the pantry to collect at least 20 cans of tomato soup as Carol pulled out a cooking pot. "Why are we making so many grilled cheese sandwiches, Vicky?" asked Eddie. "Because, Eddie," Vicky replied, "Mama gave me permission to invite my friends over for lunch, and I want to tell them my own version of Goldilocks and the Three Bears." "Oh, fun!" Janine cheered. As soon as Carol was cooking the tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches, and Eddie was cutting up watermelon, pineapple, strawberries, and grapes for the fruit salad, and of course Janine was shuffling out all kinds of crackers, Vicky called her friends from school to join her siblings for lunch, and her father returned home early from work. At 12 noon, there was a knock on the door. Vicky's friends, Johnny, Billy, Lavender, Perry, Mina, Tanya, Andy, Luca, Dana, Ashley, Melanie, Wendell, and Jerry arrived at her house for lunch, and soon everyone was eating. After enjoying grilled cheese sandwiches, tomato soup, crackers, and fruit salad, and sipping the last of the raspberry lemonade without the Tabasco incident, Vicky and her friends gathered together in the backyard. Vicky was ready to tell her friends her own version of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. "So is everyone ready for me to tell my own version of Goldilocks and the Three Bears?" asked Vicky. "Yes, we are, Vicky," all of Vicky's friends answered, and they sat in folded chairs from the 4th of July show. So, here's how the story went. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Vickilocks. They called her that because of her long, beautiful blonde hair that had the tips of her braids nice and curled. One morning, Vickilocks asked her mother if she could go out and pick some berries at her Grandpa Ned's farm. Her mother agreed and gave her a basket for the strawberries for the pie she was about to bake around lunchtime. She told her daughter that once she has the strawberries, come home straight away. Vickilocks promised, and she made her way to her Grandpa Ned's farm, and he gladly helped his favorite precious grandchild pick at least 50 strawberries for the pie. And, of course, there was enough for her mother's very special homemade strawberry pie. Afterwards, Vickilocks hugged both Grandma Opal and Grandpa Ned goodbye, and headed for home with the basket full of delicious strawberries. "We love you, honey. We'll see you this evening," Grandma Opal and Grandpa Ned called after her. "Love you too, Grandma Opal and Grandpa Ned," Vickilocks called back. But Vickilocks got lost and found herself in the woods, where she would find beautiful flowers, dance with the butterflies, or possibly play with the bunny rabbits. Normally she never ventures into the forest without Grandpa Jack, the grandfather of William Henderson. "Well, I wonder if Billy's grandpa still lives here," Vickilocks said to herself as she spotted a cottage ahead of her that she didn't recognize. "Perhaps he can help me find my way home." This one was different than Grandpa Jack's house. She came upon the house of the 3 bears and politely knocked on the door. But when nobody answered, Vickilocks invited herself in. In a beautiful living room, she found 3 chairs, a great big chair, a middle-sized chair, and a wee little chair. Vickilocks tried to sit on Papa Bear's chair, but it was much too hard and too high. She tried sitting on Mama Bear's chair, but it was much too soft and too low. She tried Baby Bear's chair. It was just right. Until suddenly, the chair gave way and broke underneath her. "Oh no!" cried Vickilocks. "I've broken the little chair. I hope whoever lives here will be kind and understanding and forgiving too." Just then Vickilocks smelled something really yummy in the beautiful dining room. There she found 3 bowls on the table. A great big bowl, a middle-sized bowl, and a wee little bowl filled with porridge, and she rubbed her tummy in hunger. "I haven't eaten since breakfast," Vickilocks said as she pulled out 3 disposable spoons from her apron pocket. Each one to test and see which one is too hot, too cold, or just right. Vickilocks tried Papa Bear's porridge with the first disposable spoon, but it was much too hot. She tried Mama Bear's porridge with the second disposable spoon, but it was much too cold. She tried Baby Bear's porridge with the third disposable spoon. It was just right, and she ate it until it was all gone. After Vickilocks finished the porridge, she wrote a note for the 3 bears explaining everything, and left it on their door outside with some tape strong enough to prevent it from blowing away in the wind. By now Vickilocks was getting very sleepy, so she walked up the stairs to a beautiful bedroom. There she found 3 beds, a great big bed, a middle-sized bed, and a wee little bed. Vickilocks tried Papa Bear's bed, but it was much too hard. She tried Mama Bear's bed, but it was much too soft. She tried Baby Bear's bed, but it was just right. And Vickilocks became even more sleepy that she closed her eyes and fell fast asleep. Meanwhile, the 3 bears came home from their morning walk in the woods for breakfast. Baby Bear had so much fun somersaulting. Mama Bear had so much fun singing, and as for Papa Bear, he had happily played his banjo for a good half an hour. When they reached their front door, the 3 bears saw a note from Vickilocks. They read it for a good couple of minutes and decided to go inside and investigate. They decided to check the living room. "Somebody's been sitting in my chair," said Papa Bear. "Somebody's been sitting in my chair too," said Mama Bear. "Somebody's been sitting in my chair, and it's broken," cried Baby Bear. The 3 bears checked the dining room. It was a good thing Vickilocks used disposable spoons and threw them in the trash instead of the regular ones, and she turned them over. "Somebody's been tasting my porridge," said Papa Bear. Somebody's been tasting my porridge, too, said Mama Bear. Somebody's been tasting my porridge, and it's all gone, cried Baby Bear. The last place the three bears checked was the bedroom. Vickilocks was still asleep in Baby Bear's bed and had no idea what was coming. Somebody's been sleeping in my bed, said Papa Bear. Somebody's been sleeping in my bed, too, said Mama Bear. Somebody's been sleeping in my bed, and it's a girl, cried Baby Bear. Suddenly, Vickilocks woke up and saw the three bears standing before her. She became very much afraid. Don't be afraid, little girl, Papa Bear reassured her. We won't hurt you. We saw your note. Thank you for letting us know you were here. I agree with my papa, Baby Bear said, and I'm sure you had a nice nap. Oh yes, thank you, Vicky smiled. But I'm sorry about what I did. If I help you all straighten things out, will you help me find my way home? Of course we will, dear, replied Mama Bear. That made Vickilocks happy. Oh, thank you all, she cried happily. Knowing how friendly, caring, and forgiving the three bears were, Vickilocks helped Baby Bear make the beds. She helped Papa Bear fix Baby Bear's chair, and she helped Mama Bear make some more porridge. After Vickilocks helped the three bears straighten things out, she was escorted home with her basket full of strawberries and a big bouquet of pink flowers that Baby Bear picked out in the woods, while he and his mama and papa were out for a morning walk. When Vickilocks and the three bears found her home, her own mother and her father were relieved to see her. The bear family told her own mother and father everything that happened today. Vickilocks' mother was very grateful for the three bears for returning her home, that she baked a second strawberry pie to take back home in the woods. Vickilocks and Baby Bear soon became friends. They played together, read together, and sang together, and why, they even entertained each other's family members at a get-together of some sort. And of course, they lived happily ever after. The end. And just as before, Vicky received an applause from her classmates. At 1 in the afternoon, all of Vicky's classmates went home, well, all except for Amanda Francis, or Mandy for short. She didn't come over to Vicky's house because she had to go visit the doctor. Vicky asked Mandy's mother if they were visiting her Uncle Peter and Aunt Lizzie, and Mrs. Francis answered yes, she was, but nothing serious, just a tummy ache. For some reason at breakfast time, Mandy's older sister Gina got distracted by a mosquito, and just as she smacked it dead, Gina accidentally knocked over a bottle of hot honey sauce into Mandy's oatmeal. Vicky was surprised to hear that Mandy was in the same boat as her, but she was happy that her Uncle Peter had treated Mandy's tummy ache the same way as he had treated hers, along with her Aunt Lizzie. Vicky decided that she wanted to do something for Mandy, so both she and her mother drove down to a toy store and bought a teddy bear and a doll for Mandy. And just as soon as they arrived at the Francis residence, Mandy was overjoyed to see the teddy bear and doll that Vicky had bought for her. "Thank you, Vicky," said Mandy. "You're welcome, Mandy," Vicky replied. And that is the end of Vickilocks and the Three Bears. Thank you very much for joining me today, everybody. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll be reading you Vicky and the New Kid in my next video. Until then, catch you later and have a lovely day.